Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Justin from MLB Baseball Blogs. I'm here with Tim. Guys, we haven't made an update video in such a long time, but before we get to that, let's bring in Tim. Tim, what's going on, man? Welcome back.
I'm happy, man. Happy to be back. Happy to be helping you out. I'll be here all summer, bro.
Absolutely. So, Tim, Phillies news. Fill us in. We have Utley coming back yesterday against the Reds. The Phillies also got Scott Podsednik. Tell me how well Utley did and what could we expect from him in the future.
Utley went 0 for 5 yesterday, but I think the presence of him in the lineup made everyone else on the team feel like we're a better lineup with him. It made the other pitcher, who was Bronson Arroyo last night, feel a little more scared. So for a while, even if he doesn't play well, he's still a big name in that lineup that a pitcher does not want to see come to the plate.
Yeah.
I don't know about Utley. I don't think he looked fine last night, really. But I don't see it right now. I think he's still hurt.
Yeah. Make him back to that reference with Bronson Arroyo. Bronson Arroyo said he felt some back problems. He flew back to Cincinnati to get tested. He had X-rays done. The X-rays turned out negative. He's not expected to miss any of his starts. So Bronson Arroyo is totally fine. So Tim, the Blue Jays released Scott Podsednik about a couple days ago. The Phillies decided to pick him up. Will Podsednik make it to the majors with the Phillies? And if he does, how much depth will he bring to the Phillies outfield?
He brings a lot of depth if he makes it. Now, the guys currently in the Phillies outfield are John Mayberry Jr., who's doing a tremendous job, Raul Ibanez, who's doing awful, but they're kind of stuck with his deal for the remainder of the season. Dominic Brown, who's their top prospect, and you would think he's going to be up there for good if he starts playing well. There's Michael Martinez, I believe, is still up there, unless they send him down. They're going to end up having a lot of depth in outfield if they bring Podsednik up. I mean, the only way I could see them doing that is if Ben Francisco got sent down, and that's not going to happen. I don't see John Mayberry getting sent down unless they decided, which I don't expect, to designate Raul Ibanez for assignment. I don't see him making the major league team unless John Mayberry plays really awful or they decide to send Dom Brown back, which just would not be a smart move. If he's out there, though, he's a fast guy. He can lay down a lot of bunts. I like Scott Podsednik, but he's not going to change your whole team.
Yeah. He is a former stolen base leader in baseball. I mean, he's a speedy outfielder. I think that I have to agree with you on everything. So, Tim, is there any other Phillies news that you like to get to?
No, not really.
Alright, so let's move our way down to the NL Central. If you guys touched base with the Reds game like 2 games ago, Edinson Volquez was on the mound and only pitching 2 innings against the Cleveland Indians. Volquez was taken out of the game by Dusty Baker, and Volquez had this to say. Volquez was actually sent down after this comment. I think everybody has to step up and start getting some runs. Volquez said, the last five games we've scored how many runs? 13? Actually 12 in 5 games. It's not the way we were playing last year. We're better than that. Right after this comment, Edinson Volquez was sent down to the team's AAA, the Louisville Bats. So, Tim, what do you think about Edinson Volquez so far this season?
Well, I gotta pull up his stats because I'm not exactly sure what he's been doing. What I know, though, is that Edinson Volquez missed like a majority of last season with some health problems, with a lot, and I mean, I just think that it's silly for him to be making this comment at this point. I think that we all know that Edinson Volquez has the talent to be great, but I mean, when you're the guy traded for Josh Hamilton, you're the main piece, you have to be great. Yeah, this year he's 3-2 with a 6.35 ERA in 10 games. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you can complain all you want about the offense. The bottom line is he missed most of last season when the Reds had the best offense in baseball. Because they didn't do well for a couple of games, that means that they suck. I mean, I just don't get that.
Yeah. Talking about the void, talking about who could fit in to fill in Edison's void. Mike Leake got sent down. Chad Rensky could be a possibility, and also Dontrell Willis. You can also bring in Matt Maloney. Out of these four guys, Tim, who do you think is the favorite to fill in the spot for Edison Volquez?
I think you got to look at Mike Leake. He was up there last year, and he was kind of that guy at the beginning of the year prior to getting arrested for shoplifting, which is such a joke. But, I mean, he was the guy they said at the beginning that was probably going to be the odd man out, but he'd end up in the bullpen. So hopefully he's got his stuff back together now, because I would expect to see him up at the major league level. I think with Volquez, though, he's not done there, but he's going to get one more shot. If he doesn't do it, he's kind of going to go down as the type of guy where you say, wow, he had one good season, it looked like we got a great trade, and then he never was able to live up to it again. I think that for Volquez, I think Mike Leake is a piece for the future there, and even if he's not in the rotation the rest of the season, he's going to be in. I think he's their first option.
Yeah. If you guys want to read more about this story, you can check out the blog on my website at MLBFranchiseInsider.wordpress.com, or you can check out all the blogs on MLB. So, guys, let's make our way into the same division. The Texas Rangers have announced that they're looking for either a closer for 2012 or a setup man for right now. Joel Hannaran, the Texas Rangers have contacted the Pirates on a possible trade that will send Joel Hannaran to the Rangers. Tim, with the trade deadline coming up a little bit later in the season, could you see this trade possibly going down?
I can see it possibly going down. I mean, the Pirates are the type of team that they sign these low-risk guys, and if they have a good season, they almost are forced to move them so they can get talent for the future. I mean, he is certainly an option, but I don't know. I mean, prior to this season, let's look at what he did last year. Saves-wise, last year he had 6 saves. I mean, nothing special, 3.62 ERA. He hasn't been a shutdown closer till this season. And, I mean, there's a couple names that come up. If the A's were to fall out of it, Brian Fuentes could come up as an option. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing this season, but he could certainly be an option. Joe Nathan is another interesting name. If you would have to take on that contract, which is quite a risk, considering he has not been good this season, and I'm not even sure if he's pitching right now. I believe he is. But when he's on, and I think by next season he's a long-term option. I mean, he's 36 years old, but closers can go until they're 40 or 41. Long-term for a closer is like 4 years. So he's an option, and then the guy who's there with him, who's also not having a great season, is Matt Capps. I mean, last season he came out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but he was just a mediocre closer. Last year he had 42 saves. This year, though, he's 7 for 10 in saves with a 5.06 ERA. So the Twins will make a decision prior to that deadline, and they'll probably move one of those guys. My guess is that it would be Capps, but I don't know.
Yeah, but if this trade was to go down, if Hannaran was to go to the Rangers, do you think the Rangers would send maybe one of their top prospects for this guy?
For Hannaran?
Yeah.
I think that's, if you got like 5 top prospects, I think that's the type of thing where you send your 4th best prospect type thing.
Yeah. So, will Hannaran go to the Texas Rangers? We don't know. I heard the Rangers are considering putting Felice in the rotation in 2012. And that means the closer spot is open. Arthur Rhodes, Darren Oliver, those guys are just, they're out of their prime. They're gone, so.
They're too old to be in that situation. I mean, I don't know. I don't see either of them as an option. I like Felice as an option, but I think that eventually they're going to give him a shot in the rotation, which if he does well as a closer, which he certainly did last season, he's missed a lot of time this season, I think it's a mistake. And we saw that with Java Chamberlain. He was a beast in the bullpen. They tried, the Yankees really messed up with him in the rotation. They had no idea what they were doing, and it just didn't work out. Now you try and move him back to the bullpen, and he can't even get it done there. So you got to be careful what you do with Natalie Felice. But if you're going to move him to the rotation, you're going to have to get someone from out of the organization to be your next closer.
Yeah. So, guys, to end this on a high note, we have the final subject for today. earlier today, the Boston Red Sox announced that they have sent Hideki Okajima on any assignment. This has been going down ever since the Boston Red Sox acquired Franklin Morales from the Colorado Rockies. Tim, with Hideki Okajima not in the Boston bullpen, how will this affect the Red Sox in their bullpen?
Well, I mean, I guess if you base it off the 2009 to 2000, or 2010 and 2011, probably not very much. I mean, it's nice to have a ton of lefties, but he just hasn't gotten it done. Last year, in 56 games, he had a 4.50 ERA, and this offseason they added a ton of depth. They brought in guys like Dan Wheeler, Bobby Jenks, a lot of guys. Not to mention add that on the already heavy bullpen with Jonathan Papelbon and Daniel Bard. I mean, he just became expendable and the type of guy that they just don't need there anymore, even if he is a lefty, because this year he has a 4.32 ERA. I think he's done at this point. I don't think he has anything left in the tank, so I don't think it will affect them too much. Be on the lookout for them to add a lefty at the deadline.
Yeah, I wrote a blog on this earlier today, and I could possibly see Hideki Okajima possibly going to the Rangers. I mean, if Feliz is moved into the pitching rotation, Joel Hannaran is acquired by Texas, the setup role is pretty much open for. I mean, Darren Oliver, he's what the hell he is.
Yeah, but I mean, he's more Hideki Okajima is more of a situational lefty, as most lefties are. So I don't know. I just don't see that.
So yeah, so there you go, guys. What do you think about where will Hideki Okajima? Will he become a Red Sox? Will he still be a Red Sox? Will he be a Ranger? We don't know. So guys, let's end this on a high note. That's Tim. I'm Justin. We'll talk to you guys.